Now, I think that we could all agree here that the World Privacy Tour episode on South Park is by far one of the best episodes by South Park and its creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone, for obvious reasons. We know that they called out Meghan Markle, we know that they called out all of her shenanigans, all of her nonsense, that so many people absolutely are repulsed by. But we know one thing about South Park right now is that they hold no boundaries for what's looming for the next season and multiple upcoming actual specials for the remainder of 2025 leading into 2026. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, one thing about Meghan Markle is that we already know that she got very much caught up in a lot of drama with Trey Parker and Matt Stone back in 2023 over the World Privacy Tour, and things are only starting to get worse as of right now, not just because of that, but also because of other things happening over at South Park Studios and Paramount. Let's discuss. Now, one thing about Meghan Markle is that we already know that she's very egotistical, she's very much self-absorbed, narcissistic, greedy. The best way to sum her up, and I've said this multiple times, is insufferable, right? But looking at Meghan Markle in isolation here, we already know that she's going off the rails because I think that things are beginning to register in her mind that nobody wants to deal with her in Hollywood, either right from the get-go or anymore at all. And I think Netflix is in that phase right now, right? Because a lot of board of directors over there, a lot of executives and producers, they're beginning to realize about how toxic she really is in the workplace. However, this is where it gets really interesting. Now, with Meghan Markle endlessly involved in drama, not just at Netflix, but also other studios, one significant development going on now involves more to do with the Meghan Markle South Park situation, where she is already beginning to go off the rails with the creators of the show, Trey Parker and Matt Stone. Now, one shocking turn of events here now is that already Meghan Markle is putting together a legal team to take another shot at South Park Studios after they created their World Privacy Tour parody episode back in 2023, and is already in the process of organizing a legal team to create a lawsuit against Trey and Matt. Individually speaking, of course. Now, already Markle is blaming them behind the scenes for why she lost popularity in the public eye after she was publicly shamed on live television through the usage of parody. Now, Meghan had already tried to create a lawsuit against South Park Studios and its creators and Paramount back in 2023 when the episode aired. However, now she is taking another form of legal action against them, not just for the World Privacy Tour episode, but also for their current plans in the making to mock Meghan Markle and her pregnancy video in a new upcoming South Park episode. Now, both Parker and Stone are actively working on a Meghan Markle comeback episode to not only boost ratings, but to also bring in new viewers to enjoy the show, and Meghan is fully aware about this development, get this, since she holds a lot of contacts within Paramount. Now, Meghan is already in the process of gathering lawyers and other legal advisors on how to go after South Park Studios. Little does she know that many of those actually failed trying, since parody is through fair use and is completely legal to do so. However, both Parker and Stone are reportedly aware about this lawsuit in the making that Meghan is creating as we speak behind the scenes ahead of the upcoming Meghan Markle parody of her pregnancy video as well. Now, she's also been in contact with Paramount, the very same studio that dropped her from a massive contract deal, we talked about this, to prevent them from creating a new episode mocking her on South Park. Now, to make matters worse, for Markle's sake, is that her own team, including her agent and manager, are also urging her to stand down, as this will only create further issues with her image by going after the creators of South Park. And guys, let me say one thing about this. It's true that if you don't want to actually, go in a downward spiral, the last thing that you want to do is go after South Park creators, right? It only gives you a very bad look. It makes you look very pathetic. It makes you look very much thin-skinned, so to speak, if you get very defensive after South Park creators. And look, we've seen this with many celebrities. They've gone after Trey Parker and Matt Stone. What happened? Well, a lot of their fans lost respect for them. A lot of people that followed their work lost respect for them because it really made them look very desperate, very thin-skinned, very much, like they had nothing together at all, that they were very delicate in nature. And so, look, we know at the same exact time, when you look at South Park, they make fun of everybody. You gotta look at it in that way. They make fun of everybody. They don't take sides per se. I mean, you could say in certain areas they haven't gone after certain individuals out there, but they've gone out after a lot of people, you know, by mocking them in the form of parody, whether it's on the left or the right, or whether it's in different organizations or, you know, different areas, whether it's Hollywood or anything. You know, they've gone after Disney, they've gone after Kathleen Kennedy. I mean, it's endless material for Trey Parker and Matt Stone. However, on top of that, legal entities over at Paramount are already said to be on alert about Meghan's actions and are preparing to take action back if things do escalate legally in a way that they are not expecting. As for Markle, she already informed her team that more parody episodes, of course, drop, and her time with Netflix and her time on social media, then her career is over. And this is basically her defense against Paramount, since she is claiming now that Paramount is destroying her career with plans to mock her on television in the form of parody. Now, guys, look, I don't think anyone's destroying her career. If anyone is destroying her so-called career, it's Meghan Markle herself, right? Look, nobody wants to hear or see Meghan Markle. Nobody wants to actually see her in anything, quite frankly, even if it's, you know, in a show about cooking, for example. That's why so many people are tired of the With Love Meghan series. And look, we know at the same exact time, the fact that Trey Parker and Matt Stone are mocking Meghan Markle is because that's how universally rejected she really is, and Trey and Matt are fully aware about that. You know, these are the types of individuals that they go after to mock, to really boost ratings, to create more value for the South Park series, and that's exactly why this series is going on still to this very day, with the season that it's going to be at in this July. And I think that when you look at everything in between here, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, they truly do have endless material, because they usually use a lot of cultural events, they use a lot of celebrities to create these stories. They usually combine those two to create very big specials for, you know, South Park that really just generates a lot of other new fans. However, on top of that, little does Meghan know as well that when a celebrity gets bent out of shape over a South Park parody episode, it only makes things worse, just like with Barbra Streisand. You guys may recall with Mecca Streisand many years ago, and how Barbra reacted to that, and how people saw Barbra in a different way after how she reacted to that South Park episode, you know, later down the road, of course. And so, look, we know that Meghan Markle, she's getting very bitter, she's getting very delicate, she's getting very much, you know, out of control right now, because as I pointed out this earlier, just yesterday, she really is beginning to realize that the corners or the walls are closing in and she's stuck in a corner, essentially, right? And there's really no escape for herself in this situation where Hollywood is just outright rejecting her. People are tired of people like Meghan Markle, all these self-entitled personalities and celebrities and all the like. People are just tired and exhausted of it all. And you're seeing more examples of this in Hollywood, you know, with specific personalities beginning to crumble and showing no escape route. But overall, I would like to hear what everyone has to say about this whole South Park situation with Meghan Markle and the whole issues that she has with the World Privacy Tour episode, even till this day in 2025, and what looms for Trey Parker and Matt Stone. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.